Hello everyone and welcome back to some rapid action on leeches. Last game we played, it was a fun b4 variation against the knight c6 Sicilian, and even though we had a winning position in the end, we lost on time. But yeah, that's what happens when you're down to your last seconds and your opponent still has 5 minutes on the clock. So this game I will try to play a little bit faster. I really thought that 10 minutes would be more than enough time, not just 10, me 10, my opponent 10, 20 minutes would be enough time to talk and not just about the position, but maybe what happened yesterday in the chess world and stuff like that, and play. But seems like time really flies when you're playing rapid, which is interesting because I've never actually played rapid in my life. So this series that I'm doing now is the only rapid that I've ever played, but I'm actually enjoying it immensely. So it's completely different chess than when I play bullet or blitz. In bullet or blitz, I'm pretty much just pre-moving and watching something on the other screen, so it's not really something that can be considered chess. It's more of a pastime activity. But yeah, let's get back to the game here. So 10 minutes per player. Who will be our opponents for this game? We get the black pieces, and our opponent is Slow Poison N1 from South Africa, and he goes for e4. So we're gonna continue with c5. I mentioned in the previous video, usually I go for the Scandinavian, but I will be playing c5 to learn, but also to maybe broaden my style. And he goes for c4 immediately. It's sort of is the Marozzi bind structure, and that he will be going for, and it's a very nice way for white to play without pushing all that much. And you can always do this against the Sicilian if black still hasn't played knight to f6. So okay, we're just gonna go for our setup here. Probably there's a move order that is more efficient than just going for the standard hyper-accelerated dragon. Probably some a6 here, but as I do not know, I'm just gonna put my pieces to optimal squares. Like bishop, like g6, bishop g7. We're gonna play d6, knight to c6, knight to f6, castles, and then we're gonna try and make the best of it. All right, so our opponent probably now contemplating d4. It's always super enjoyable when someone plays early g6, because if you play d4, he can take with the queen. He doesn't have to take with the knight, and he will already be attacking the rook. And then if they're not used to playing against early g6, then they will say, okay, he will play knight to f6, I'll play e5, and yeah, but he doesn't go. He just goes knight to c3. Okay. We're gonna go bishop here, bishop g7, continuing our development. Okay, so he plays it with the fianchetto. Okay, I have no idea how to actually play this, so I'm just gonna see what he does. Okay, so it's a very interesting setup what he's doing. Bishop here will be incredibly strong. He will castle kingside. He will play king to h1 probably, and then he will wait with d4, but he will play pawn to f4. So that's what he's going for. I have to figure out how to play against this. As a f4 e5 could be somewhat annoying with knight here. So I don't know if it works. I'm gonna play pawn to d6 instead of pawn to e5. Just to be more flexible. Okay. And yeah, we're still gonna play knight to f6. I'm not really sure about knight to e7. We're gonna go knight to f6. Yeah. d4, if he plays d4, then we just trade everything and it's perfectly fine, and it's the standard setup. And he could even go for b3 and bishop to b2, fianchetto both of his bishops, and then it's just gonna be a long maneuvering game where he's gonna try to make his bishops as strong as possible before committing to anything. It's always a useful idea whenever you play any line of any opening. But yeah, he will have to play d3 or d4 at some point. Probably not now. He's gonna play. Okay, so he has to consider: does the rook belong on e1, or does the rook belong on f1 to support f4? Does he want to play b3 and bishop to b2? Does he want to play d3? Does he want to play d4? Does he want to play a3 and b4? Does he want to play h3 for some reason? So, I mean, sky's the limit here. I couldn't even try to guess what he will play. Probably d3. But I don't know, maybe even b3. Or he will play something that I haven't considered, like rook to b1. Makes also sense to move the rook from this diagonal. Like any move you consider here is a move. Like even queen c2, queen to b3. Seriously, any move is a move here. That's what you get when we haven't exchanged a single pawn and a single piece, and it's already, you know, it's already the middle game. Yeah, and he's really taking his time, Mr. Slow Poison. Probably that's where he gets his name from. He takes it slow, but you know, then he drains you with a superior position. Hopefully that's not the case here. Okay, so he goes for h3. It's a fine move. One thing it does, it takes away the g4 square from my knight, and another thing, it gives his king a bit more room. He can play king to h2 in the future, get off of this diagonal, which is relevant in the Sicilian and other lines where this diagonal might open up, and he will have more support for executing f4. So, okay. I'm just gonna allow it. I don't really have a way of not allowing that, and we're gonna castle. We're gonna castle, and yeah, d4 for the moment, yeah, it's really not a possibility since we can trade everything and queen captures, and then we have all sorts of discoveries with the knight. Unfortunately, not very useful ones. But it could come to mind if the king is on h2, because then after all of these trades on d4, imagine knight to g4 check picks up the queen. Of course, that will not happen. It's merely, you know, why if he plays king to h2, d4 is no longer possible. So he will, of course, not do something like that. But yeah, it's important to calculate stuff like that. So in the game, you don't have to. And yeah, now again, sky's the limit here. It's merely a matter of precision. And once again, his name is Slow Poison. So I could imagine something like rook to b1 being played here, or even king h2. Yeah, really taking it slow. Rook b1, d3, b4, or even rook b1, a3, and b4, king h2, f4 later on, f5, e5, whatever. Or even something like king h2, g4, knight to g3, and then maybe, yeah. Yeah, I have no idea. I do know that I will have to, as long as, since the d file hasn't opened up, I will be trying to get my bishop to d7 and c6. If I can get my bishop to c6 with his bishop fianchettoed on g2, then I'm going to be super happy for the entire game. And don't even have to worry about my rook being on this diagonal. So if the position opens up, yeah. But it's not easy to move. Yeah, like I go here. It's not easy. Okay, since the c4 pawn is for the moment undefended, we could actually play bishop to d7, 95 with tempo. He has to defend the pawn, and then we shifted the bishop over to c6. Yeah, I mean, such a thing would be possible. It would be more precise, probably. Yeah, he goes for d3. Yeah, he's really slowly poisoning me. Slowly poisoning me. Yeah, okay, so now this is defended and we don't have to worry about anything like that. So can we play bishop to d7? That's the real question. Can he take advantage of this somehow? Yeah, maybe some bishop to d7, e5, because then I can't capture with the knight, as the b7 pawn would hang. So he could mess up my pawn structure if I go. Is that really a problem? I mean, it could be. It could be, but I don't think it is for the moment. This pawn isn't all that relevant here. Yeah, I'm kind of doubting he will do that, because he's taking so much time calculating everything and preparing. Okay, so bishop to c5. Makes sense. Yeah, now the problem is if I go here, he can just play d4 and then captures. The knight gains control of the c6 square, so my bishop will not be joining c6 anytime soon. But yeah, now e5 sort of, I mean, I lose all the flexibility here, but yeah, it's now or never. Now we're gonna put the knight here and put the bishop on c6, and I don't think we have to, yeah, okay, so he's going for the standard setup here, as he should. We're gonna play a6 first, simply to take away the b4 square from the knight. Okay, so he wants to play a4, probably a5, grabbing more space. That's excellent. Yeah, time to get that knight. But yeah, we're still waiting with this. Yeah, let's get our rook to b8. It might look like a tempo loss because he will play a5 here. Not now, but he might at some point in the future. But if he doesn't, the rook will be useful here. Yeah, let's get our knight here. Now probably some trades happen. Maybe they don't. It's still, I mean, because if he captures, I'm gonna kick away his knight, and then he loses the pawn here. So yeah. F4. Yeah, of course. Undermining the knight makes sense. He will never capture there. Yeah, he can capture here. We don't care about that. But we could play queen a5. The queen no longer serves a purpose here. And queen no longer serves a purpose here. We're going after the pawn here. If he takes, we don't really care. We're just going to kick away the knight and then win the a4 pawn. We're now threatening to win the a4 pawn. Not right away, of course, because he will then have some nasty rook to a1 action. But b5 is now a move that he will have to consider whatever he plays. I might even play queen b4 first before executing b5, simply because that rook to a1 is always possible. Okay, so he captures here. We don't care about that. I think we don't care about that. Of course, I could be wrong. I've been wrong many times in the previous video that I've made on that crazy position in the b4 Sicilian. So, yeah, okay. So he takes here. Why exactly? Because we attack both pieces. Is this some sort of a crazy tactic that I'm missing? Okay, so he wants to capture. If I capture, he wants to play knight here. Yeah, and attack my queen. And then I'm gonna attack his queen, and then... yeah, that's smart. It's very smart. But is it smart enough? That is the question. Yeah, obviously, this pawn has to capture. Goes without saying. Yeah, only move knight b1. Only move, otherwise he just resigns. No, it's not the only move. Yeah, he can also play that. Yeah, kind of makes more sense. Yeah, here we just sacrifice the queen. There's no other way to play this. We have to sacrifice the queen. Yeah, let's take bishop as well. We attack the rooks. And we will have sort of a closed position here with not too many breakthroughs for him. And we will have the bishop pair. We're better on time. So, I don't know. I'm quite confident about this queen sacrifice. Some will say we shouldn't call it a queen. We shouldn't call it a queen sacrifice because we gain material for it. But okay, it's a trade. It's a trade for some minor pieces and the rook for the queen. Okay, so we definitely have to capture here. And now we get this position. So we capture the rook. And in the end, yeah, this is what we get. We have a bishop and a rook for a queen, but we like our position very much. Okay, so how do we proceed from here? Maybe it was a bit overly ambitious, but what are you gonna do? So do I keep everything intact? He will play b4, b5 at some point. Yeah, the bishop is strong. Yeah, since he can't attack anything at the moment. Oh, this is actually the way to play it. F5. Yeah, just go straight for opening up the position. Yeah, now that I've seen what I've done, probably there were better ideas, but I don't know, it just seemed so right. My idea is that I want to somehow reach that base of the pawn chain, and I even though he's up material because he has the queen, but trading down and trying to get that pawn and maybe getting a past the d pawn seems like the best long-term play for me. Yeah, he's gonna go for b4. That's what we already figured out. And now, how do we play this? Now we just trade everything. Yeah, we trade everything. He's gonna play the bishop captures. Oh, yeah, serves me right. Serves me right for opening up the king. Okay. Not the end of the world, though. Not the end of the world, though. This pawn could now become very dangerous. Let's take the rook first. Huh. Let's take the rook first. And advance the pawn. He will take these pawns. That's goes without saying. That goes without saying. He will play something like queen to c7, put pressure on my rook, and I will have to move the rook. He will take the pawn. But what do we get in return? Do we get anything in return? We have to play rook f8. For our rook to be defended. Oh, yeah. Oh, this is so bad. Yeah, let's do this. Have to give some breathing room for our king first. And then we go here. If he takes the pawn. If he doesn't, he might just push the pawn here. Yeah, it could be even better. Yeah, even better. Even better. Yeah, let's go here. We have to go. We have to go somehow. Yeah, he controls the f3 square. Yeah, I think I've overdone it. I think I've overdone it. Yeah, there's no move for me here. Oh, that's so sad. That's so sad. That is so... Yeah, that's a useless move. Useless move. That is a useless move. Yeah, he's gonna give a check. Yeah, I don't think he needed that. But yeah, he will play it. So now we're down to playing for tricks. Not the best. But yeah, go here, hoping for king f3. No, we're hoping for e2. He's probably gonna play queen f3 now. Queen here. Okay, we go here. Hopefully he takes. If he doesn't, we push the pawn. Oh, again, I'm forcing myself to pull a rabbit out of a hat. Yeah, no, okay, now we can't push the pawn. That's so silly. That's so silly. Yeah, we have to give up the pawn. Have to give up the pawn. Now he's just better. Yeah, let's go here. Yeah, that's nice. That's nice. Always nice. Have to defend. Yeah, let's take. Go here. Okay, so he wins. Check. Okay, good game. Good game. Let's see his mating technique. What is the mating technique? Okay, bring the king in and checkmate. That's the way to do it. Nicely done. Nicely done, Mr. Slow Poison. Nicely done. All right, so we're gonna analyze this slowly. And in the previous video, you guys said that you would like to see more of the analysis somehow. So let me just figure out a way how to, or not more of the analysis, but you would just like to see the bar. But yeah, okay, the bar is visible here, just not for white. Okay, I see what you mean. I see what you mean. Okay, so that was maybe me asking too much from the position. Let me just set this here. Sorry, not that. There we go. All right, so you will be able to see the engine, not all the way, but at least the evaluation and what the engine gives. So let's see this. Let's see this brilliancy we attempted. Okay, so this is all perfectly fine. This is 0-0. Okay, knight f6, sort of not maybe the most precise, but yeah, okay, knight gt7 should be played here. h3, but still, this is all very much drawish. Yeah, white plus 0.6, which is normal. A4, okay, sort of a question mark, but still, those are all 0-0-0-0. So this is all perfectly fine. Yeah, he played that. He captures on d4, knight d5, and I played captures. Okay, so yeah, queen to c5 with equality, knight captures on d4, on d5, a bit ambitious, but still okay. And f5, yeah, f5, a losing move. Yeah, b5, the move I considered first, is the way to go. Okay, but let's see if we had anything here in this heavy endgame. No. It was simply too strong for him. So while the queen sacrifice itself was not a problem, following up on it definitely was. f5 here was just too ambitious. For one, it allowed me to blunder a piece as I've opened up this diagonal and I didn't even play king to h8. So yeah, definitely something to consider. Yeah, b5 was the move I considered, and I was better on time, so playing it quickly was the way to go. But you know, you live and you learn. So yeah, that's the game. Hope you guys enjoyed it. It's not the problem of the opening or anything you've seen. I mean, it's perfectly fine. You can play it. Just my reasoning in this game was the cause of my downfall. But yeah, Slow Poison lived up to his name. He took it slow, but then in the end, he was able to poison me. So yeah, once again, hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you soon with the next one. And by soon, I mean tomorrow, as I'm making one of these per day. See you soon.